10 seconds.
Best intentions.
Can I get a mule check?
6, 5.
Okay, fade to black.
3.
All last Tuesday, all the time.
Be cool about fire safety.
Who are you?
See more smoke. Smoke detector. The more smoke I see, the more noise I make. And I see more smoke coming from that toaster.
Oh my god. Thanks for warning us, Seymour.
That's my job. I hate smoke. It's disgusting. It gives me a headache. So whenever I see it or smell it, I make this noise to warn you. 'Cause where there's smoke, there may be fire.
Good tip, Seymour.
How many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them. Is there one outside your bedroom? There should be. Tell your parents.
Be cool about fire safety.
No.
That was an excellent report.
Thank you.
But you do understand it was only legend, right?
Yes, my grandfather told me the story when I was really little. See, in my research, I found that every town has scary stories and legends.
Why do you think people come up with stories like that?
People have a need to create monsters. It helps us believe that the real world isn't as scary as the monsters we dream up.
Hello everybody, I'm the Loud House Critic, one guy with 1,000 views on all the episodes I must review. So we're about nearly as close as finishing up the month of April and only got 2 episodes of nothing good, except for now I actually have something that I actually wanted to do. A very long time ever since this episode premiered. Teachers Union. The 14th episode of Season 3 of The Loud House, and much liking above all, the 115th. Okay, so I didn't know what to expect from this episode, except when I watched it, somehow there's some things I actually really enjoyed, and I did get so much kind of laughs out of this ridiculous episode. Okay, when I said ridiculous, I mean something that kind of works to go with this episode, and we've seen this kind of cliche before in the movies or in another episode before, and it also made me ridiculously enjoy it. But before I can actually start reviewing this episode, I actually want to bring back this guest star ever since he started with me in making the grade, and he actually helped me out in Schooled, and he is much likely supportive to the actual group. Vampirefan 1958.
Thanks for bringing me back here on the show for the second time, Loud House Critic. And yes, this Season 3 Loud House episode might be a breath of fresh air after having to guest review the infamous Season 5 Loud House premiere special Schooled last year with its offensive Canadian stereotypes, lots of character derailment, and many moments of broken logic as well. I even still can't believe that some of the crew who worked on the Loud House are Canadians themselves and are even okay working on an episode that negatively stereotypes their country, culture, and citizens as an offensive joke. Anyway, let's see if this Loud House episode is a happy romance story for Coach Bukowski and Mrs. Johnson, or is just the exact opposite of a happy romance story for these two characters instead.
Sometimes you have to be on your
Damn, that got her. That's a face I wouldn't even post online. Hey, look, it's Scribbles.
Man, that's really got her from playing a really intense game of dodgeball in a physical education class for elementary school like how Lincoln and his friends are facing right now.
Man, I hate gym class.
Damn, these kids are getting their asses kicked. By who exactly? Hank and Hawk? No, I don't fucking think so. I think those guys are just middle schoolers.
If me and my classmates were playing dodgeball in PE class for elementary school like how Lincoln and his friends are playing, then we're definitely going to need some doctors and nurses, and some trips to the hospital as well.
And the worst part is, class hasn't even started yet. Ugh.
Ooh, nice shorts.
Put your damn clothes on, boy. I don't want to see that. Now I see the resemblance between Clyde, Lynn, and Lincoln of why they lose so much clothes articles when they get hit by a ball.
Okay, now that you're warmed up, let's begin.
Coach, any chance we can play with the parachute today?
I don't think he heard you, Zach. Ask him again.
Wow, talk about a brutal PE coach. Not even Gordon Ramsay would be that brutal if he was a PE coach.
I'm sorry, who hired this guy to be a gym teacher? Because let me tell you, back in my days, my gym teacher was never abusive to me. I've always been the fastest kid on track. Thanks to the inspiration of Foghorn Leghorn and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Line up!
Move it! Come on! Let's move it, you ladies! Uh-huh! Looking good, man!
Today you'll be running the obstacle course.
Is it legal to have barbed wire in school?
Want the real answer to that? No, it's not.
Yeah, I actually agree with girl Jordan here. Barbed wire is probably unsafe for anyone to be around with, since what I've heard is that barbed wire can lead to stitches, permanent damage, or even death, as it has the ability to shred a horse in the blink of an eye, and when they struggle, the damage only gets worse.
It feels like he's running a prison here. And this guy should have got a job at a juvenile school.
You're first, Miss Mouthy.
Dude, that was a pretty harsh death. I mean, just because you don't show blood doesn't mean it's not gruesome. In fact, let's put some blood in that scene and see how it looks.
Don't even think about it.
Okay, be honest. Who in the hell would use a block crusher as a course for a PE exercise? That could just flat out kill someone.
No one leaves till each and every one of you runts finishes this course.
Good morning, Coach Bukowski.
Hello, Mrs. Johnson.
Look on the bright side. Lots of people are complete and utter failures, and they get along fine. Mommy?
I knew I should have got a vasectomy before I decided to become an athlete.
It's okay, Coach Bukowski. We all get nervous when we meet the girl of our dreams for the very first time in our lives.
And pretty much a hopeless romantic, I would say.
Coach, can we stop? My toenail fell off.
Yeah, sure. Class dismissed. You all get A's.
Survey says...
Now then, back at the lockers.
Can someone open my locker? My rope burn is serious.
Man, gym class was brutal today.
Man, Rusty's rope burn during gym class must have been pretty serious. I wonder if this will affect his ability to use his hands for his schoolwork at the Royal Woods Elementary School in the future.
Yeah, good thing Miss Johnson came by before we got to the barbed wire.
Well, at least we know you're not adopted.
Don't call me nosy, but I wonder why girl Jordan is so afraid of barbed wire in the Season 3 Loud House episode. Did any of her loved ones or herself perhaps have any terrifying experiences with barbed wire in the past?
Coach sure is sweet on her, ain't he?
Can you imagine if Coach and Mrs. Johnson were a couple? Gym class would be way less painful.
It'd be non-stop parachute time.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, bullshit!
I think you guys are onto something. What if we could make them a couple?
No. Anything that Lincoln is kind of thinking of, it's gonna get messed up in the very end. One screw up and that coach will crush you like a little insect until your brains come out of your ears. And from the looks of this, I seriously doubt that girl Jordan's ever gonna be part of the group. Plus, she ain't got no freckles.
Then we go to the Loud House where Lincoln is looking for some girl advice from one of his older sisters.
So, my friend really likes this girl. OMG!
Oh, Frank! Kiss me there!
Seriously, what is it with Lori grabbing Lincoln and pulling him under her covers? We really don't need a dirty incest joke. Or no fucking joke at all.
You're talking about yourself, aren't you? Who's the girl? No, it's not me. So, he likes her, but I'm not sure if she's into him. Oh, have Clyde ask her for you. It's not me!
God damn it!
Can you focus, please? Now, how do I get her to be interested in him, too? I'm sure she'll be interested in you, Lincoln. You're so great!
I swear to God.
I will walk out of this room and go ask Lola.
Okay, Lori, what part of Lincoln's friend really likes this girl didn't you get? He was obviously asking for girl advice for someone he knows, not for himself.
And I would appreciate that she wouldn't smile that way.
Fine. I'll help you with your friend. All you have to do is talk him up when you know this girl is listening. Make him seem like a real catch. That's great advice. Thanks.
I wonder what girl advice would Lola have for Lincoln anyway if he went to Lola for help instead of Lori?
I would answer that, but I would seriously fucking doubt that it's not good advice at all.
I guess we'll find out soon enough what girl advice did Lori gave Lincoln for help on him and Clyde getting Coach Bukowski and Mrs. Johnson together the next day.
So, Lori says the first step is to talk up Coach's good points.
Got it. Wait, what good points?
That's what we're here to find out.
Can we have a little snoop around music here?
What the heck? I just stacked these!
Survey says...
A medical book? Wow, Coach must be studying to become a doctor.
That'll be helpful since he injured so many of us in class.
You are really judgmental, you know that?
Oh, the irony, Clyde. Coach Bukowski wanting to be a doctor since he injures his students during PE class, especially during the beginning of this episode. But in real life, however, it will take 10 to 14 years for someone like Bukowski to become a doctor.
Well, that would be one hell of a miracle. If he decides to bring jellyfish to gym class.
Hans, what animals do you have for us today?
Well, first off, we have a splendorous creature of the sea, the glorious jellyfish.
Wow, that truly is a beautiful Holy It stung me, Hans! Ow! Ow!
Oh dear, jellyfish stings can be quite toxic and painful.
No it's killing me! Quick! Quick, Hans, do something!
Check out the World Traveler. Mrs. J is gonna love that.
Oh, shit! Now you call it?
Duck and cover. Duck and cover. Out of the way, bunny. Go for Bukowski. Hey, thanks for calling me back, Sal. I need to talk to you about a part for my boat.
He has a boat?
Leave me when I say I bought the mermaid.
So to summarize, Coach Bukowski has a medical book, has pictures of himself at the world's most famous landmarks, and even has a boat. Maybe Bukowski will be the perfect match for Mrs. Johnson after all.
Yeah. Survey says...
Look out! Look out! Watch out! Watch out! It's horrendous, stupendous. Bigger than us. It's the Monster Jam!
You're not getting your goddamn paycheck for this one, Mox.
Clyde, you'll never believe what I found out today. Did you know Coach P is studying to be a doctor?
No way, Lincoln. I'm surprised he has the time. What with all the world traveling he does on his boat?
A boat, you say?
Yeah, I heard he just ordered a new part for it.
Yeah, even I can fake that even better. But first, I would need my dick to be hard.
How has he managed to stay single all these years?
I got damn reasons about how that's possible.
I guess he's too modest to toot his own horn.
You mean the one on his boat?
I think that Mrs. Johnson is going to love Coach Bukowski after all.
Survey says...
You know something? You're right.
Okay. Okay. So, anyway.
Okay, so I followed your advice, and now the girl seems interested in my friend. What's the next step?
Duh. You ask her out. You literally have the green light, Romeo.
Why does Lori keep thinking that Lincoln is going to have a girlfriend when he's clearly asking about how a friend of his should get a girlfriend he likes?
But I gotta hand it to her, Lincoln is kind of like a ladies' man. Like how I am in my city. Keyword, kinda. Not to mock one of the Tiny Toon character, but doesn't Lori have the cutest toes? I mean, how's she able to do it better in this one than how the way she fucked it up in No Guts, No Glory? Again, flannerizing.
Lori, it's not me!
Fine. Tell your friend. He literally has the green light. How long do you want to play this game, Lincoln?
You know, when I first watched the Season 3 Loud House episode, I actually wasn't sure if a day like National Ask a Teacher Out Day was real or not. When I looked it up on Google later on, National Ask a Teacher Out Day isn't a real thing. Turns out that there is a thing such as National Ask Someone Out Day, National Ask a Girl Out Day, and even National Ask a Boy Out Day in real life.
Well, there's something you don't see every day.
Man, I really feel bad for Mrs. Johnson. National Ask a Teacher Out Day, and no one has asked her out.
Huh. I wonder why Mr. Wolfson hasn't made a move.
She'd never go for a humanities teacher. She's more into the athletic type. You know, guys who are tough on kids and stern authoritarians.
Are you done? I'm bored.
And if they like to blow whistles, even better.
Yes, he took the bait.
Yeah, but you can't ask her out looking like that.
I don't know what makes you say that, but it's always about being yourself. I mean, honestly, I don't have to dress fancy to go on a date or to ask someone out. I just ask them being in my casual clothes.
Oopsie, here, let me neatly comb that for you.
Sorry, here, I happen to have a fresh shirt with no pit stains.
Gosh, what am I going to do with this romantic bouquet of flowers? I'm allergic.
Give me those!
You know, Lincoln and Clyde might make a good dress-up crew in the future for someone when he or she is getting ready for something like a special occasion. But maybe they can ask Rusty's dad for some help later on, since he knows a lot about getting dressed and wearing clothes for the right occasion.
Somewhat, I don't think this is gonna turn out right.
Oh, shut up.
Well, hello, Coach. Oh, are those for me?
They are, indeed.
Hold it! There's something I forgot to mention that they might also have in common. Remember Girl Girl? And remember, oh, I hate bringing this episode back, the greenhouse. Once you put two and two together, you'll notice what these two did to Lincoln. I just thought I just want to throw this in here before I forget in the next review.
Agnes, I was wondering if you'd like to have dinner with me tonight?
Well, I guess I could skip my hot yoga class. You're on.
What are you all looking at? Back to work!
Yeah, consider you should have just waited to ask her out until school was done. Because many boys don't know what to think of romance, while the other girls, they could actually get into it. And that won't even seem too right of what they're doing in front of all these kids. Hell, you might as well hire a teacher for sex education while you're at it. I mean, they already scarred so many kids for life with Kangaroo Jack.
This movie was awful!
Like I said before, everyone gets nervous when someone meets his/her dreams for the very first time in their lives. So don't worry about that, Bukowski.
I can't help it. I'm just a stern, authoritarian kind of guy.
Survey says
Things from understated to super sassy. Don't just sit there moping. Girl, the door is open. Any shape, any style.
The next day at school, Lincoln and Clyde actually approached gym class, but to their surprise...
The parachute!
We did it, buddy!
Remember this moment?
Well, it's great to see that today's gym class is safer and even less violent than the other day.
You know what? I haven't seen those damn things in years, ever since kindergarten.
Lincoln McCloud! Lincoln McCloud!
But wait a minute, where's the coach at? Uh-oh, something went terribly wrong.
Whoa, I wonder what happened with Coach Bukowski and Mrs. Johnson last night, considering how upset he looks.
Probably it might have been too soon to actually ask for a kid already. But as much as I could say, here comes the gray area. Lincoln and Clyde actually go investigate to see what's wrong with the big guy.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Just great. My love life is in the toilet and I'm going to be alone forever.
How could that be?
I'll tell you, you're a loser, and you'll always be a loser. Silence! I'm sorry, maybe that go wrong.
We saw you ask out Mrs. Johnson the other day. She seemed thrilled.
Well, that didn't last long. Everything about me seemed to disappoint her.
I would say the same thing about her too, but that would be the pot calling the kettle black. Or is it the other way around?
In a way, I kind of feel bad for Bukowski now, not going to lie.
Well, for some reason, she thought I had a yacht, and when I told her I just live on a houseboat with my mom, she looked like my Uncle Bill when he loses checkers.
Survey says, from the moment of birth, you're already a parasite leeching off your mama's kids. Get the fuck over yourself, you baby dick prick!
And she was less than enthused when she found out I'm not some big world traveler.
You're not? I was just looking at those pictures on your wall.
Those are from that new mini golf course out by the airport, Hole in Wonders of the World.
My gosh, that still sounds dirty to me. But I've heard worse.
I know.
I've never left Michigan in my life.
She must have perked up when you found out you're in med school. I saw that book on your desk.
I don't know what to say. I think Clyde's got some of the good jokes in this episode. I know he's not trying to be funny like Lou Ann, but at least he's got some supportive on his mind. Kind of.
This? I checked it out of the library. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on here.
You know, I never thought I had the fucking balls to say this, but it makes me eat a bag of sour Skittles and puke it all up, compared to seeing that damn bucket in Pipe Dreams, Lola sneezing like the frickin' common cold, seeing gross out decorations at Lola and Lana's party, or Rita and Lynn actually twerking like Marley.
Be fine. We're gonna keep singing loud and wrong.
Oh my god, Coach Bukowski's infected foot looks like it belongs in a disturbing horror or sci-fi movie, like those movies by David Cronenberg or David Lynch. But either way, this shot almost looks as disturbing as Flip's medical oddities in that Loud House episode, Blinded by Science, later in season 5. Or that scene where Lincoln had a nightmare about being in the grown-up table from the season 1 Loud House episode, A Tale of Two Tables.
Boys, I need to be alone. Go play with the parachute for the rest of the school year, okay?
As of right now, as you all probably would have known, Lincoln and Clyde actually come clean. And I hope he doesn't take this personally.
Coach, there's something we need to tell you.
Well, I'm hearing you roar. Tell you what, why don't you bring that spunk with you to the game on Sunday?
That would be more effective.
Blitz! So, you see, because of us, Mrs. Johnson had all the wrong ideas about you. That's the reason your date bombed. It wasn't anything you did.
Though, the foot rash didn't help.
Then what could help to fix Coach Bukowski's infected foot then, Clyde?
Clyde, shut the hell up and let me do the talking. And the thinking.
Well, thank you for coming clean, boys. I appreciate your honesty.
You do? So, you're not gonna punish us?
Oh, I'm not gonna punish you.
Woo! I'm glad that worked out nicely. Wow, I guess he took it like a gentleman.
I am gonna tear you limb from limb!
You fucking dick shit!
Ah! Run away like you want to see a girl flash herself in New Orleans. Wait a minute, why the fuck am I running? I'm an adult. Vampirefan, I don't know about you, but I don't think it's legal for an actual gym teacher to actually murder his own students. Even though Loud House had some good ratings before they hit hard in season 5, but it seems like it could be really bad for a lawsuit.
Insert chase music right here, a la Tom and Jerry between Lincoln, Clyde, and Coach Bukowski.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Close call. But this is a cartoon universe, so many cartoon characters can't get hurt, can't they? But if so, I wonder what it feels like to have Coach Bukowski pancakes.
I should have worn my white pants.
I fucking stand corrected. Keep running. And that freaking sickening grin that he's got on his face reminds me of this one guy that's in that Timon and Pumbaa show.
Holy crud, Coach Bukowski must be really strong to lift up a block crusher to prevent himself from getting hurt or killed from that. It's like that he's either Superman or an Incredible Hulk.
Swing like a Tarzan monkey, jump, do a judo flip like Ko the Panda.
Ooh, that's a pain that's gonna linger.
Man, that must really hurt for someone to fall on their head first. And trust me, I know some family members of mine who had actual head injuries, and they were not really fun experiences for them, trust me.
Ooh, I'm glad his rage actually stopped, considering the fact that no other student ain't screaming about this and just yelling for the principal that the coach is trying to kill 2 boys here. But what the fuck ever they're thinking about in that studio. Come later into the nurse's office.
Well, now that's quite a goose egg, Coach.
How do you do? That thing with your mouth. Take me away, but be gentle. I'm fragile.
Jeez, how'd you do that? He was just showing us the best way to run the obstacle course.
Not to mention he tried to kill us.
Maybe you should stick to something a little less strenuous, eh? Like, a mini golf? Now that's my game.
Wait, you like mini golf, Nurse Patty?
Like it? You're talking to the Royal Woods Mini Golf Queen.
Well, you're talking to the Royal Woods Mini Golf King.
What a lovable couple. They look so happy.
At least Coach Bukowski managed to find someone that's the perfect match for him. So great for him right there.
Do I even need to say where this is actually going? You all probably already know and figured this out already. And I've proven the point before. Miss Johnson ain't the right kind of girl for him. In fact, she never was. And Read Aloud had just been replaced on my list.
Lined up, waiting to get filled with my meat.
I could fake it if that'll get your dick hard.
Pull your damn pants up, boy. I don't want to see that.
She's fresh as fuck and you know it.
Well, it ain't too late to play doctor. Seems to have no effect, doctor. Thank you, nurse. Why don't you ever call me? I could actually take you on a date tonight. But some things can get a little better for the end.
It looks like Coach found his lid. Or his jar. Still not sure.
Which means a whole lot of parachute time for us.
Remember this moment.
Apology accepted.
But if you ever pull a stunt like this again, I will fuck you and your wife.
Alrighty!
And then in Mrs. Johnson's class, we then see an angry and upset Mrs. Johnson because of her lousy date with Coach Bukowski, although she doesn't know who set up the romantic date with him yet.
Alright, class, I'm gonna...
Hey, how am I supposed to look beyond what I see beyond that?
I had a lousy date last night and I'm not in a good mood.
She's in a bad mood.
It's probably her time of the month again. Just like how Lynn has her time of the month. And I can compare what their problems are. Imagine the movie turning red, and there is a red river down below.
What did you say?
And there's your possible answer about how Lynn is the way she is. That episode, Mailman, did not even fix everything.
Well, you know what they say whenever someone gets into another situation that's like the previous situation he or she gets into.
So, anyways.
Question 1. Your mom's houseboat counts as a boat. True or false?
Hey, Mrs. Johnson, maybe eat a Snickers bar so you'll feel better later after consuming one.
Guess who he is?
I'll make love to you like you want me to.
Hey, Lori! Listen, I've got another friend who needs my dating help. No, it's not me!
On another note, shouldn't Lincoln and Clyde know that their girl advice from Lori wouldn't work this time after realizing what happened with Mrs. Johnson and Coach Bukowski?
Yeah, considering he didn't learn too much anything, let this be a lesson to all of you out there. Don't ever try to hook somebody up on a date that you don't even know too much about this person, unless you even do.
You evil
So much for the moral of this episode.
So this was Teachers Union.
Shawty, what you think about that? I'll be in the gray Cadillac in the bed like ooh.
Hey, this is as good as it will get, and I'll explain the issues with this episode in a minute. Right now, the storyline seems like it was cliched and generic and a bit ridiculous, but somehow it kind of works in a fun episode like this to actually enjoy. Even though we actually seen these kind of tropes before in a different show or a movie. First of all, I like how it actually focuses on the undeveloped side characters of Mrs. Johnson and Coach Bukowski. Of course, this wouldn't be a hopeless romantic episode with the result of Lincoln and Clyde actually trying to set these two up with a relationship. And yeah, I've seen this kind of shit happen before, and these attempts never usually work. You know, in order to prevent a downer ending from occurring, both of them actually end up with separate love interests, which mainly to actually drive home with the message that love is something which occurs naturally. It did kind of seem a little bit forced, but somehow it kind of escalated so quickly, especially when you got the nurse and Coach Bukowski actually sharing the same interest in mini golf. That was actually real nice about it, especially with Miss Johnson actually crushing on the janitor, who I actually simply like in one episode. I did like some of the reactions with girl Jordan in the game, but I could barely give a shit about her. But I'll talk about her when it comes to that episode. Another thing I'm actually really grateful for was Clyde. He didn't actually have a great performance in this episode, but honestly, I actually did get some kind of laughs out of his jokes. And especially like the joke he actually made about the coach about needing a doctor because he makes a lot of his students actually get hurt during gym, which will kind of lead me into a bigger problem with this episode. And that would be the frickin' obstacle course. Okay, that one's part of the least of my problems. With barbed wires and frickin' block crushers, that's really gotta be illegal. And yet somebody should have actually called the police on the actual coach here, especially when he tried to attempt to kill Lincoln and Clyde after when they told him about what they did. He shouldn't actually get to be a teacher, especially after when he just got hurt. Shit, whatever happened to the actual therapy session that Clyde actually helped him out with and out of the picture? Another problem in the episode I really hated was Lori in this episode, about that running gag about Lincoln having a different girlfriend. See, I know that Lori actually has a boyfriend already, but seriously, this role could have actually gone to Lenny. Seriously, this could have been actually something cute between Lincoln and Lenny. Now, about what I said in the very beginning of this review about how ridiculously the episode is, what I mean by that is, at certain points it's trying to take itself so seriously, at the next minute it's trying to be an over-the-top, exaggerated cartoon. And I think it's pretty much interesting about how it works here, because this is a very obvious and cliched story that has been done already, like I said before, especially when they use some of these gags in the long run to try to make it so much interesting. And yet there are times I actually criticize some episodes that try too hard to be funny. But seriously, I think this one takes a big slice of the cake. But in my defense, I think the writers were actually trying to have so much fun writing this kind of cliched episode. It wasn't too much funny, but I did get a few laughs out of this, just for the sake of the pure irony of it. Doesn't tell anything new, but it's a pretty solid, good episode. Even if the episode did end it back on square one and nothing actually got learned out of it. So I was grateful I actually reviewed this episode. So what's your rating on this one, Vampirefan?
What I like about this Season 3 Loud House episode was that the premise of Lincoln and Clyde getting Coach Bukowski and Mrs. Johnson together for a dinner date was quite nice. Lincoln, Clyde, their friends Smith-Partee and Lori were all likable. The Peanuts references, like when Clyde loses his clothes during an extremely violent game of dodgeball at the beginning of this episode, The scenes with Lincoln getting romance advice from Lori were funny and amusing. The moral of this Loud House episode: people should just win other people over for being true to themselves and not by following a standard that turns out far more awkward than charming, was quite nice. The plot of this Loud House episode, despite being predictable at times, was quite good, as it uses the moral of this episode very nicely. The humor was good as well, and the ending, despite devaluing the moral of this Loud House episode, was actually quite nice, since Coach Bukowski does succeed on finding a love interest that actually loves him for who he is. However, Coach Bukowski can be unlikable at times in this Season 3 Loud House episode, such as when he uses his methods of teaching his students physical education at the opening of this episode, which came off as violent more than making a person fit for exercise. The shot of Coach Bukowski's infected foot was literally disgusting and horrifying to look at. Like Flip and his medical oddities later in the Season 5 Loud House episode, Blinded by Science. This Loud House episode, along with its plot, can also be predictable at times, since it uses the meddling in romantic matters trope, even though the moral was nicely used, as mentioned earlier in the prose section. And the ending, despite being nice, as also mentioned in the prose section earlier, does devalue the moral of this episode, since Lincoln Clyde planned to do the same thing again, but with Mrs. Johnson and Norm, the Rural Woods Elementary School janitor this time. And to conclude, this is actually a good Loud House episode from Season 3, but compared to its sister episode, Head Poets and Anxiety, it's actually not one of the best Loud House episodes out there, unfortunately. But hey, it's still a better romance-themed Loud House episode, and even less mean-spirited than the Season 1 Loud House episode, Save the Date at least. So that's something, I guess. So as mentioned before, I'm Vampirefan 1958, and now I'm going to find some romance advice from Alex Hitchens from the 2005 Andy Tennant movie, Hitch. And thanks again, Loud House Critic, and I hope to see you guys real soon.
Alright, I can actually see I'm not alone on this one. I'm the Loud House Critic. Oh boy, next week's episode is not going to look too good.
In the loud house, duck, dodge, push and shove, it's how we show our love. In the loud house, one boy and 10 girls wouldn't trade it for the world.
Spies. And your son's right. We work for suspense.